I talk about tools to succeed in many forms on my channel, from dressing elegantly and feminine to feeling confident to optimizing your time, saving, planning, and being intentional about your actions. These are all forms of betterment to your current version. So regardless if you're in your teens, your 20s, your 30s or above, and regardless of the stage you're in your life right now, they are universally applicable. I didn't really start paying attention till I want to say about 5 years ago, and it feels like being awakened. So today I want to share more tools with you and how I've gotten so much closer to my goals in hopes that you can learn something new and apply to your own life. So today I want to share with you some of my favorite audiobooks that I highly recommend you try out, at least read reviews about them and see if that's something that might interest you. I know that there's a whole range of topics for self-improvement that we can all take, and it's very personal. But for me, some of these books I found incredibly helpful at work and in all my non-professional relationships. The first book I recommend is The Alchemist, and that's really a more spiritual journey. And my take on it there is something called Omen. Up to you to see it. It's up to you to really pay attention to nature, pay attention around you, and look at the small non-verbal cues. A lot of the communication is also done non-verbally from people you interact with every day. So once you start being more sensitized towards it and pay attention more to those cues, it's just a really great guide to read people, read your environment, and fully assess the situation before you step into it. Or even if you find yourself in a situation where you don't really know what to do, just kind of, we call that instinct, but really it's the abundance of all the elements around you that kind of unite and form really the current state you're in. Finance was a big part of the unknown for me, and I know probably most of you feel the same way because it's just natural. I don't know if so much of it was told to us since early on that math and finance and numbers are scary or hard to understand. So whatever the case is, by the way, that's not true. I was always interested in it, just because I was told I can't or I shouldn't. On the finance side, I would like to recommend to you The Millionaire Next Door. That has completely changed my mindset about what is wealth, what is being rich, what does it mean, and just it's very statistical. It's a bit data driven, but really you don't need to pay that much attention to that aspect. It's just to give you a better understanding of reality, right? Reality behind what does it take to be rich and who actually becomes rich. I think we all have preconceived notions about that. And to me, it was completely mind-blowing to find out that everything that I knew about what it takes to be rich is distorted and it is false. Actually, as soon as you have a job, I recommend you look into it because you don't need a very high-paying job to be able to save and to accumulate. In fact, you would be surprised that the majority of millionaires actually make less than 6 figures and have teaching backgrounds, or their spouses have teaching backgrounds, and so much of it evolves around budgeting and planning, which are just like basic, common sense skills that most people can acquire. Have you ever come across a book that is so popular that you're just really naturally curious about it? So this is what happened to me about the next book, and it's called Atomic Habits. At the time, I was just looking at something to listen to, and it kept being recommended to me, and I looked it up on Amazon, had great reviews, and it was, I think, the #1 best-selling book of last year. This book is very different. It teaches you very hands-on practical skills. So if you're interested in improving yourself, improving performance, improving just really anything about you, if you want to learn a new skill, if you want to start jogging, if you want to run a marathon, if you want to start reading, no matter what your goal is, this book can help you with that, because it's very systematically breaking down for you the steps that you need to take and different versions of things you could do. Habit stacking, for example, for you to introduce a new habit, you can stack it onto a habit you already have. So for example, if you want to read more, you can, at the end of the morning, when you finish making your bed, you can leave a book on your pillow. So when it's nighttime, you see the book, you're automatically setting yourself up for success, because it's going to help you, and you're going to be more likely to do that, take that action, because now you prepped yourself for it. So understanding the process behind these habits, why some habits work and some don't, and why you've been trying over and over again to get something done and it's just not happening. Understanding the reasons behind it is very helpful, so you can gather these tools and then you can manage your own actions so that you get to your goal that you want. Next on my list is 48 Rules of Power. This book will take you quite a while. I don't even remember how many hours of reading it is, probably over 10 or 20, I don't remember. It's probably the biggest book you will ever see or have to listen to, but it is worth the while. I think this book is very relevant for professional settings and to understand how culture works, the politics at work. So many of us have to deal with that in a corporate setting and whatever work environment we're in. There's a lot of politics involved, and believe it or not, a lot of people are very intimidated by that and refuse to be involved. And really, if you look at anybody that went, that got promoted or that bettered themselves and climbed that ladder, it's not by coincidence. A lot of it has to do with politics. So either you agree with it or not, either you want to be part of politics or not, it's still there. So my recommendation is to try to learn to understand the politics so that at least you can identify the key players, and then you can at least not get in their way. So you don't have to be actively involved, but at least understand the nuances of what's going on in the office. Some of these lessons mentioned in the book, they're very, very relevant even to today. And it's interesting because the examples given are dated back hundreds and thousands of years ago. And it's just amazing to me that the stories and the lessons learned back then are still applicable now, and history repeats itself over and over and over again. Some of the mistakes that people have made, leaders have made, can be very useful if you know about them and really truly understand them. I had to listen to some of the chapters over and over and over again because there's so many details and so many nuances to understand. I'm going to give you an example. One of them is to listen, not divulge too much. Again, I will go back to how useful it is in today's world. It could also be applied in your personal relationships, so give this a try. This particular book is very powerful, and I recommend it to anybody who wants to lead, anybody who wants to climb the corporate ladder, or really any type of ladder in a professional setting, in a personal setting. It even has romance in it and tips on, just the subtleties, the underlying subtleties of elegance. And I think it just encompasses all the tools that even women and men can use to create better relationships, to get relationships that they don't have perhaps. and overall just increase their value. The next book I want to recommend to you is called Bulletproof. I'm going to link everything down below, but this is a very empowering book. It's written by an FBI agent. Nobody would think once you look at her that, you know, she's part of Secret Service, but she gives us a lot of lessons. And my takeaway from those lessons was that it's very empowering to be by yourself, to find, pretty much be your own hero. And that kind of stayed with me because we always look for external gratification, external validation, external safety. Once we realize that all of that is inside of us, it changes the game, really. You don't need others. Try to find yourself, know yourself, love yourself first, and get that strength that you need from your inside. And then once you're all confident and secure and feel safe and you realize that everything you've been searching for all your life has been with you all along, it just changes the dynamics with all the people around you. So nowadays, when everybody needs you, everybody pulls you away in so many different directions and you have to be everything for everyone, being there for yourself is incredibly valuable. You increase your own potential and you bring substance to every interaction that you have from there on. Not only if you're secure with yourself, but now you choose the people that are in your life and you prioritize relationships differently. You prioritize your own time. You value yourself more. And it's a game changer. I really hope you enjoyed these recommendations. Comment down below which ones you've read, which ones you haven't read, which ones are you interested in reading. And if you have some books that you would recommend to everyone else, please share with everyone. If you liked the video, of course, click the thumbs up. And if you're new, consider subscribing. I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye.